Hello and welcome to the session where we're going to talk about API management at the K3s edge. My name is Sudeep Goswami. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer here at Traefik Labs. Let me tell you a little bit about our company. Traefik Labs was born in the cloud native era with a mission to combat connectivity chaos and cloud native complexity. Our primary goal has been to empower organizations to expose their applications, microservices, and APIs in a secure and seamless manner. Our software has been downloaded over 3 billion times. We have over 40,000 stars on GitHub. We have a vibrant community of contributors that numbers over 700. And we have over 100,000 nodes in production today. This journey really began with Traefik Proxy, which was the first cloud-native Ingress controller at the time in the market. We then followed that up with a cloud-native API gateway, the product called Traefik Enterprise, which really extended the capabilities of the Traefik Proxy and added enterprise-grade functionality such as high availability, security, and mission-critical support. And then most recently, we have launched Traefik Hub, which is the industry's first Kubernetes-native API management solution. You can learn more about these solutions directly on our website at traefik.io. Now, I'm really excited about the partnership that we have with SUSE, because this is where two of the most popular open source projects in the cloud native ecosystem have come together to deliver a compelling value to our joint customers. On every K3s deployment, Traefik Proxy comes pre-built as the default Ingress controller of choice. Our two companies share common design philosophy around being lightweight without compromising performance and being portable, so you can use this solution across multiple deployment environments, which makes it ideal for edge computing and similar workloads. Now, you can learn more about our joint solution. We have a course published on our Traefik Academy where you can actually take a hands-on deep dive on how these two technologies work together. Now, on the user and customer traction, Traefik Proxy and K3s have been deployed together across hundreds of small to large Fortune 100 environments. What you're seeing here is just a slice of 3 logos, which is just a small sample size of the type of deployments that we have out there. But one I want to particularly focus on today is the case study that's publicly available on our website. And this is where Rancher Prime and Traefik Enterprise played a key role in ABAX's next generation critical cloud native infrastructure. Now, with this as the backdrop, I want to shift the discussion to the main topic for today, which is Kubernetes native API management at the K3s edge. And in order to do that, I want to start by talking about digital transformation. Now, all of you are here in the audience have some form of digital transformation initiative happening in your company. We have seen this accelerate at a rapid pace over the last few years. And what we're also seeing are several design patterns and architectural choices that have emerged as a result of this. And these patterns and choices are around microservices, multi-cloud, Kubernetes, and APIs. You have microservices that are really driving application modernization initiatives and containerization initiatives, further driving business agility. You have multi-cloud becoming the de facto way by which users are getting the flexibility to be able to deploy their workloads across any environment, whether it be on-prem, hybrid cloud, or now at the edge. Kubernetes has become the de facto standard in the operating model by which new applications are launched. And this further drives application agility for digital transformation initiatives. And last but not least are APIs, which is driving all types of digitization, value creation, and monetization. And we'll talk more about APIs in the coming slides. But when we surveyed the customers, and especially the forward-looking organizations, what we find are they are not just looking at one, but all of these strategies to really develop and maintain their competitive edge in this digital economy. Now, when we talk about edge computing, edge has a wide spectrum of use cases, and it spans multiple different deployment environments. Edge is not a homogeneous entity. You have near edge, where it's closer to the data center, and you have tens of thousands, tens to hundreds of devices. Where you have the far edge, where you have hundreds to thousands of devices, these are closer to the user, all the way to the tiny edge, where effectively every endpoint is an endpoint on the network. So in this world, when we talk about APIs and API management, the key question to explore is, what is the role APIs are going to play in the edge? Do they have a role? If so, what is the relevancy? This is a topic we're going to explore in the next few slides. And in order to do so, I want to really start by doing a quick primer on APIs so we can level set on the definition of what an API is. Postman has done a great job illustrating this through an analogy of a waiter at a restaurant taking an order from a client, working with the back office, and serving that client with the response, as in the food that they ordered. So essentially, APIs become a set of protocols or a set of instruction sets that enables different software components to be able to communicate and transfer data amongst them. Now, not all APIs are created equal. You have private APIs that are used to connect different software components within a single organization. These are generally not available for third-party use. And we see some applications that may be using dozens or even hundreds of these private APIs to make the applications work. On the other hand, you have public APIs. These public APIs provide public access to an organization's data, functionality, or services. They can also be integrated into third-party applications, driving further value. And some of these public APIs are freely available, whereas others come with a fee. And then the third types of APIs are partner APIs. And this is the one that seems to be growing the most, where these APIs enable two or more companies to share data or functionality in order to collaborate and create joint value. These APIs are not available to the general public, and they often come with an authentication mechanism by which their access is restricted to a certain audience. Now, if you further look at some studies that have been done, Akamai posted this study where they discover that over 80% of all traffic types consist of APIs, and this continues to grow. IDC did a similar study where they found that 90% of digital services are being built using public and internal APIs. And then we have another study that was done. It was a developer survey that was done in 2022 that found that developers are spending over 50% of their time on third-party and partner-facing APIs. So clearly you can see that the use of API and the relevance of APIs are on the rise. Let's look at one additional data point. There was a survey that was done by Rapid API, and this was done in 2022. It's the State of APIs report. And the question they posed to organizations were, how critical is API, your role in the API economy? Is it a top priority for you or not? And not surprisingly, over 3/4 of them came back and said, yes, it is a top priority today. We're actively working on it, or it is going to be a top priority very shortly. And as you can see, over 75% of them said this is a priority. Now, this is across all industries and verticals. And then if you expand on this data, on this study that was done, you will discover some verticals are much farther ahead on their use of APIs and their prioritization of APIs than others. So clearly you can see how critical APIs are. Now, coming back to APIs and the edge, we believe that as more and more applications continue to run on the edge, APIs are going to follow suit. And the main reason here is that the drivers are common for both applications running at the edge and APIs running at the edge. And the common drivers are really around reducing the amount of time and latency it takes to capture relevant business information and being able to generate relevant business decisions, and shrinking the time it takes to do both of them. This has been the main driver for edge computing, and we believe this is going to be the main driver for APIs running at the edge. And these particular verticals are going to be of special emphasis as we talk about APIs running at the edge. You can think about automotive, manufacturing, telecom, healthcare, retail, and defense. And so once you have APIs running at the edge, and it's already happening today, but once this proliferates and becomes more and more, what organizations will have to figure out are some key core capabilities on how they manage these APIs. And these core capabilities are going to come in the form of three broad areas. First one is, how quickly is an organization going to figure out what are all of the various services that are running at the edge, which ones to expose them as APIs versus not, and then how to expose them securely, and to whom. How do you restrict access to the certain people while keeping the others out? And then can they continue to do this in an agile operating model that they have been doing for the rest of their infrastructure? And herein lies the problem. If you look at the existing API management solutions on the market, they are ill-equipped to handle these tasks. And I'll talk about three broad reasons why this is the case. First one, the existing API management solutions tend to be large, proprietary, and monolithic systems. They were built before the cloud native era, so they come with a heavy tech stack. And they have an all or nothing mindset due to their monolithic nature, so you're not able to take out the pieces that you don't want and only keep the pieces that you want. It must be consumed in an all or nothing manner. This philosophy and the operating model is misaligned with the DevOps operating model that most organizations are embracing. So these large proprietary monolithic systems have arcane, heavy, cumbersome point and click workflows with very limited scripting and CI/CD capabilities. And they tend to have very limited deployment flexibility because they are tightly coupled to run in specific environments, especially on-prem, which creates a problem because they're not optimized to run across multiple deployment environments, including hybrid, multi-cloud, and edge. So collectively, these three big problem areas creates operational overhead and creates a very high total cost of ownership, operator burnout, and delayed time to value for organizations. So we believe there must be a better way. And at Traefik Labs, this has been the DNA of the company, where we have been tackling the complexity and the operational chaos, and using a similar approach that we have done with our previous products. Our answer to this is a Kubernetes-native API management solutions. As we just saw, proprietary solutions cannot scale, and the cloud-native solutions are not enough to tackle this. So what Kubernetes-native API management solution really brings are three broad things. The first thing is it brings a deep services awareness. Because of its native integration with the Kubernetes API, you're able to auto-discover the services that are running in the environment, and you're then able to seamlessly map the services to the APIs that you want to expose. A Kubernetes native approach also provides high availability and security. This is because Kubernetes provides built-in high availability through the use of replicas. So the Kubernetes native API management solution can just leverage this without having to build additional things around high availability and overcomplicate things. Now, the fact that everything is auto-discovered because you're deeply integrated with the Kube API, there are no phantom or rogue services running. You are able to discover everything that's running. So you have visibility on it, and then you can make a decision on whether to expose them externally and with the right authentication parameters. And then due to being Kubernetes native, you're able to seamlessly extend security with third-party integrations as well. Another key characteristic of being Kubernetes native is that you can elevate your entire experience around GitOps and CI/CD compliance. This is because CRD has now become a first-class citizen. So even if you are at an UI level and you're doing point and click operations, they are going to get auto-converted on the back end to CRDs. So your Kubernetes operators and your Kubernetes staff will fully understand how things are being managed at any given point, and they can further automate that and build powerful automation workflows with standard tools like Helm, Terraform, and Argo CD. Now, one other important kicker for using Kubernetes native is that it should work across any deployment environment and across any Ingress controller. This makes it the most portable and the most powerful API management solution. And what that really requires is a modern, lightweight, and open architecture that we are proud to deliver as the first in the market. And this will maximize the full potential of Kubernetes for API management. And this architecture really starts with having a central control plane that is fully hosted in the cloud and managed by Traefik Labs. And it can connect to multiple deployment environments regardless of the underlying Ingress controller that it's running. In this picture, we're showing a central control plane that's connecting to 3 independent clusters, where each cluster is running its unique Ingress controller. Cluster 1 running Traefik Proxy, Cluster 2 running NGINX, and Cluster 3 running HA Proxy. And we believe this architecture gives you an unprecedented level of choice that has not existed in the market until now. This approach also gives you 100% GitOps compliance, and it delivers the fastest time to value for publishing your applications, your microservices, and your APIs to the outside world. You can learn more about this on our website, and you can also sign up for a 14-day trial by using this QR code here. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.